All right, guys, welcome week 6. Tonight, probably going to be a little bit shorter. I do have a couple things. Just real quickly, I'm going to open up a new terminal. Got a terminal open here. You can open up a new terminal if you want more than one window open. You can click on the drop down here at the top and do new terminal. I'm going to go ahead and get to root. And one of the questions I just got tonight, which I guess I didn't even think of it while I was talking about it. I think it was last week, week before. System CTL stands for System Control. CTL stands for Control. Just so you guys know, that will come in handy. At least not maybe to know, but we're going to be using System CTL tonight quite a bit. I'm going to do two things tonight. MySQL. We've already installed MySQL. And we've used it in a command line capacity, but not that's not a really friendly way of doing it. And that works for someone like me, who I deal with databases all day long. I know SQL syntax. That's great. For those of you who don't know SQL that well, don't do this all day long. There are some tools out there that help make it easier. And we're going to install that. The first one is PHP MySQL, or PHP MyAdmin, sorry. And then the second is a web application similar to what we've done before. I have to probably mute you, sorry. Oh, we're going to present to everyone. Make sure that's presenting. So MySQL, the PHP MyAdmin, and then WordPress, which WordPress is a blogging platform. It's actually a more generalized CMS or content management system. You can build an entire website off of WordPress. They have a pretty good web page if you want to go take a look at it. But we're going to go and download and install these, and then hopefully they'll just work right off the bat. But I doubt they will. So let's give it a shot. Going back to my terminal, I'm going to do a DNF. I'm going to do a DNF search of WordPress. Looks like we got quite a bit there. I'm going to do a DNF search of PHP MyAdmin as well. Okay, cool. So I'm going to do a DNF install. I'm going to do PHP MyAdmin. And I'm going to do WordPress. And, that'll be good enough. Just those two. It wants all these, about 13 megs. Go ahead and download it. PHP MyAdmin. All installed. So, if you can remember back, when we did the oh, looks like we got it. Cool. Oh, maybe not. Already muted. Wonder why isn't too. This is already going. Strange. Huh. Maybe I'm just going crazy. We got her installed. Yeah, what is the echo coming from? Muted. Okay, well. Is yours muted? Yeah. Okay. Well, sorry, getting a little distracted by the echo there. Looks like we got it figured out though. We got it installed. So I'm gonna go over here. No, I didn't get it. Here. Let's just do this. You turned all the volume down, but you didn't go to your mixer. You gotta undo your volume on your input. All right, let's try that. All right, again. Shutter installed. Let's see. Let's do a systemctl status of HTTPD because that's the service. That's the web service that should run the phpMyAdmin and WordPress. So let's try. It's running. So just for good measure, I'm going to restart it. Got it restarted. Now I'll also check my configuration on do a cat of etc. httpd conf.d and let's do phpMyAdmin. I just catted it because I want to see what's in it. I'm muting you again just in case. All right. So I catted it just to see what's in it. We've got all this stuff in here. What we're really looking for, this alias right here to phpMyAdmin. This should work. I'm going to go to Firefox over here. And instead of localhost, I'm going to do localhost / phpMyAdmin. Looks like it worked. Now, when you did the install of MySQL from a couple weeks ago, you had a username and password, and that should be the same. The same username and password should be used to log in here. I'm going to use my, hopefully what I use is my root password. Okay, it worked. I got into the web interface, and this is the web interface for MySQL, and it shows me all of my databases over here on the left. And you can kind of think of a database as like an Excel spreadsheet, and each one of these would be like different Excel spreadsheets with different like tabs in them, and then different information inside those spreadsheets. And so web applications use, effectively a giant Excel spreadsheet to store all the information and make it easier to run faster. Now, Excel is relatively slow with all that data, but databases are designed to optimize all of that data retrieval and make it really, really, really fast. And so MySQL is really good for that. We don't have anything for WordPress. I'm also going to go, I'll check my configuration because we have a conf.d. We should have a WordPress. We do. And I'm going to do that to less because I don't want to have to scroll around. Actually, that was it. So the directory, this alias here is saying WordPress. So if I go to localhost / WordPress, it's got an error establishing database connection. So even though it's installed and we installed it really easily, really quickly, it can't get to the database. Well, there's no database set up for it yet. So I'm going to go ahead and create one. I'm going to call it WordPress. And so I clicked over here on New, and then collation, I'll just leave that default. And I'll hit Create. No tables found. That's fine. What I need to do now is create a user that WordPress can use to work. So to do that, I'm going to go over here to Home, and then User Accounts up here at the top. So the Home little icon there, then User Accounts here. I'm going to add a user account. I'm going to call it SA WordPress this time. And the password, I'm going to use my favorite password generator. Not really a password generator, it's a random phrase generator. Humid macaroni, that's kind of funny. I'm going to pop it into a text editor just to make sure. Sometimes I have a problem, and I still do, of a space going in at the beginning and the end. I'm also going to capitalize that and add a special character like an exclamation point. That's a decent password. We want to check how secure is my password. That was .NET. Let's see how good that is. It would take 824 billion years to crack my password. Not bad, especially since it's very easy to remember. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in my password field. I'm going to paste it in there. I'll use native MySQL. That's fine. And actually, I don't want to do any host. I just want to do local. And then I don't want to give it global privileges yet. So I'm going to go ahead and go down to the bottom and hit go. And it went ahead and created it. Now this is the SQL that actually generated the SQL code generated to create that user. In case you guys are learning SQL and want to figure out what that means, it gives you kind of the information. Now I'm going to go over to database. So I was on global. I'm going to click on database and click on WordPress. And I should be able to hit go. It's been a while since I've used this. I'm going to hit up here and hit check all and hit go. And you can see what it did up here with the SQL that it did. And now if I go back to database, oh, I guess it's already there. So that should be good. Now what happens if I hit my refresh again? Nothing. Well, why is that? Well, we haven't told WordPress what to do yet. And so part of this actually really helps because I know where my WordPress is installed because I knew where my configuration for the Apache was. I know that it's in user share WordPress. But I also know that a lot of the configuration files, and this is something I haven't gone over, configuration files on every Linux system actually go almost always in etc. So I'm going to Control C, and I'm going to go look. I'm going to do ls of etc. I'm going to hit, no, I'm not going to hit tab. I'm going to do wo. Look at that. I hit wo and tab, and it immediately went to WordPress. I'm going to ls that directory, and there's one configuration file in there called wp-config.php. I'm going to go ahead and edit that. So it's vim, etc. WordPress wp-config.php. I'm going to go ahead and edit this. If you guys are familiar with PHP, you'll be right at home in this. For the rest of you, that's fine. We can just scroll down and look and see where the parameters are. And right here, it already has DB name, DB user, DB password. We don't have to worry about anything other than they say database name here. And anything inside, again, I hit I to go into insert mode. Where it says database name here, I'm going to type in my database name, which is WordPress. I'm going to go down into username here. I'm going to call that SA WordPress. And password here, I already forgot it. That's why I put it in a text editor just so I can go in here and hit paste. Human macaroni. Database host is localhost. Won't have to change that. That's pretty much it. We should be able to now go hit escape :WQ to save and quit. Done with that. Ideally, this should, there we go. That worked. So, we're going to go ahead and set up our site title, which is Linux class. Username, I'll do my username. You know, that random macaroni is pretty good, or the humid macaroni is pretty good. WordPress only thinks it's a medium password, but that's okay. I'll put in my email address. Stephen.butler@gmail.com. I'm going to go and I'll keep that there, and I'll hit install WordPress. Now I can log in with my username and my password. I'll go ahead and hit remember me. Now I can log in. I can customize my website. I can also create a blog post and say, this is a blog. I am blogging. Now, I can change some settings on it. I can even set it where it doesn't have public availability. But I'll go ahead and publish it. And I'll visit the site up here on the top. We'll visit the site. This is what it looks like. It's got a hello world post. It's default, and then this is a blog post that I just made. And there's so many other things that you can do with this. There are tons of themes. There are people that do nothing. Their job is to do nothing but customize WordPress, and people design entire websites based off of this. If you go out to WordPress.org, there are a ton of plugins as well. Kind of whatever you want to do, you can do it with WordPress. There's even e-commerce plugins where you can accept payments on your WordPress site. I kind of like WordPress as more of a static site. WordPress has also had a very bad reputation on the wider internet for being horribly insecure. It's gotten better, but it's still got some problems. There's some different themes you can download, install them, play around with it. So that was actually a lot faster than I expected. That was 20 minutes. So PHPMyAdmin, to kind of recap, is an awesome tool for people who don't really want to or really get into the SQL side of actually cutting code and writing things that, optimizing queries. If you just want to quickly get something set up, I mean, it was just a few clicks, a couple mouse clicks, and a couple of fields I typed some data into. We got a database set up really quick. And unlike before, where I had that, that code to set up the stuff, all that was created for us, and honestly, just a menu-driven system. Grand scheme for you guys looking for jobs, looking out there to get in the workforce. Knowing how to do the actual SQL code is going to make you a lot more money, because you're more valuable to people who can say, hey, how do you get this sort of data? I have this database. I want to get these sort of sets of information out of there. And with PHPMyAdmin, yeah, you can browse around. Like, let's look at the table here. You can look around, do some stuff, but honestly, you might not know kind of right immediately what you're going to do with all this stuff, and it might not give you a lot of good information without running some queries and knowing exactly what the SQL stuff does. And WordPress, there are people that have built their careers just on WordPress. And installation really wasn't all that difficult. We got it done in less than 20 minutes, including setting up the database. So that's it. Give me a screenshot of your WordPress instance and PHPMyAdmin running, and that's it. That's all I got. You guys out there have any questions or comments, concerns? All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and stop broadcast. I'll stay online. If you guys have any questions, just do them in the group chat. It won't be recorded that way. And we'll see you guys next week.